Like apparently 3.5 million of you last year, I was one of the lucky individuals who was able to pick up a brand new Nintendo Switch 2. And now after a week of using it, I want to talk about it. The good, the bad, the things that I am utterly indifferent on that some people have taken great umbrage with. But for me, I just want to talk about a new console. What's going on, everybody? I'm Jay. Welcome to Square Pegs. And yeah, I mean, if anyone has watched this channel before, you guys know I'm a Nintendo head. You know I was going to be picking this up launch day. I had to. Just simply had to. And it was something where I had it pre-ordered through Target, but Target really sucked this past for this shipment. I was really hoping that they were going to ship it early, and it would be something where I was going to be able to get it on launch day. But when like 1 o'clock in the afternoon rolled around and there still wasn't a shipment update, I decided to say, screw it. I'm just going to hop over to my local store and see if they've got one in stock. And in stock, they did have one. And I was able to get my Nintendo Switch 2. Now, there's a lot to really enjoy about this console, and we're gonna kind of go through everything real quick. I'm a big fan of the simplicity of the system. Like, it's familiar without being a one-to-one correlation of what the original Switch was. Like, there is something here that, if you're a fan of the original Switch, you're going to pick this up, dive in without a problem, and just enjoy yourself. And that's great. It works incredibly well in that regard, and it feels familiar enough that even with some of the changes that are inherent to the design of both the software and the hardware, it's not going to be so different that it's off-putting. This isn't like a jump from the GameCube to the Wii, where you go from a controller to all of a sudden you're making magical gestures in the air to try and be able to do things. It's familiar, it's acceptable, and it's good. I really liked the Joy-Cons, and I still do like the Joy-Cons. And there's some scuttlebutt out there that these are the exact same Joy-Con sticks and things like that, and I'm not a tech guy. I can't tell you if they are or not. All I can tell you is what my experience is what my experience has been using them, and it's been universally positive. I really like how easy they are to attach and detach from the console, while still being difficult to detach from the console as well. Like, I don't feel like I can just pull them off because the magnets are so strong. And I like the actual like wrist straps and grips and everything like that. Like, there's no more locking or anything like that you have to worry about, or putting them on backwards and then hoping that you don't ruin your controller or your Joy-Con trying to get that rail off. It just works. And as they showed in their video, like right before launch, you can even put them on upside down and backwards if you really want to, but why the f would you? It was a weird, a weird demonstration from them. But as much as I like the Joy-Con, as much as I don't hate it, the thing that I think everyone wants and everyone wants to enjoy is the Pro Controller. And I am very impressed with the Pro Controller. I do not think these are the same sticks that were present on the original Pro Controller. This is far too smooth, far too nice. There are some very apparent improvements with the Pro Controller versus the original Pro Controller. I think the HD Rumble is significantly better. I think the sticks are better. The macro buttons on the back that you're able to program on a per game basis, which is like chef's kiss fantastic, are great. Like, I love being able to map the capture button to the back so I don't have to like take my thumb off the thumbstick to be able to capture an image or capture a video. I can just hold it down on the back and go from there. And it's been a pleasure to use. Like, this is one of the best D-pads I've ever used in a long time. Might be one of the best D-pads ever, actually, now that I've said that. Like, it's stiff but not hard to use. It plays great on the Switch Online games. It's fantastic for retro games. It's fantastic for modern games. I have had no problems whatsoever with the Pro Controller. I think it is an absolute fantastic piece of technology that Nintendo iterated on here, and I'm pleased that I got it. It was one where I wasn't sure I was going to pick it up right away, but when I went to Target and they had it, I pulled the trigger. You know, it was something where it's like, no, I should probably get it. I had too many games that I had picked up that were going to need a good controller, that I wasn't going to be able to rely on just the Joy-Cons or an older Pro Controller to be happy with. It was something where, like, you can't play Cyberpunk with Joy-Cons. I mean, you could. And if you do, don't let me stop you. Do your thing. Have fun. But I wanted to play it with a Pro Controller. I wanted to play it the way that I felt it was meant to be played. And I have not been disappointed. It has not made me better at the game, for the record, but it is something where I am enjoying my time with it. I'll get back to some of the features with the Pro Controller in particular. I want to talk more about the HD Rumble, and we'll talk about that when we get to talking about some of the games. The thing that I was really on the fence about, And if you guys have watched the channel before, I'm not a multiplayer gamer. It's not my thing. I am a single player gamer. If I'm doing multiplayer, I like couch gameplay. So needless to say, I was not sold on the camera. I did not think this was going to be a necessary purchase. Frankly, I thought it was kind of a stupid accessory. I thought this was the most gimmicky aspect of everything that they had shown for the Nintendo Switch 2, to me, was game chat. I can see how it would be appealing to some, but like at first blush looking at it, I was like, that's friggin' dumb. I don't care about that. I don't care about it at all. I have zero interest in playing with this thing. I have zero interest in turning chat on while I'm playing a game because, I mean, frankly, I've seen me in footage where I make weird faces when I play video games. I don't need everyone to see that. But like day 2 of having the console, our friends Andy and Lindsay, aka LL Cool Games, invited me to a chat session, and we didn't have a camera yet. We had a really shitty webcam. Well, the webcam is nice, but it does not play nicely with the Switch. It would never focus. So I looked like I was in a hazy mist for the entire time. I plugged it in, and first off, the microphone in the console is incredible. Like legitimately, the voice filtering is spectacular. It is some of the most technologically advanced kind of like throwaway aspect of this console is the voice filtering for the microphone, because I've been across the room and talking on it and not had an issue. Meredith was putting up a shelf one day when I was playing with Gary from Rock Solid and Chris from Game Dad, and she was hammering nails in, and they didn't pick them up. It was just my voice that was going through, which to me is amazing. That is like, just what an incredible feature. What a fantastic implementation of a feature that I have never really seen successfully implemented on a console before. Like, I've had people tell me your background noise is really loud on voice chat games before, and that's one of the reasons I don't do it. But on the Switch 2, it just works. And I was curious with the camera if I would be at all interested in doing this. And what I ended up finding was that it was so easy and so natural to just slip into chatting with my friends while I play, and not talking shit, not talking smack or anything like that. Just talking to them and having fun and being silly. It was like playing couch co-op. I mean this with zero hyperbole. For something that I thought was going to be a terrible feature and something I would never use, it is legitimately my favorite feature on the Switch. I cannot say enough how great game chat is. It's a legitimate game changer. Like I always say in comments when people question my opinions on things or say that I'm dumb about something that I like, they always tell me I'm wrong, and I always tell them I'm not wrong. I'm just different. Gaming is a tapestry. It's a beautiful tapestry, and if we all liked the same thing, it would be an ugly as shit tapestry. To have this, where I am able to talk to my friends, and not necessarily while playing the same game. Like, that's the thing that absolutely blows my flipping mind, is that we don't have to be in the same game. Like, I can be playing Cyberpunk, and Chris can be playing Mario Kart. Gary can be playing Yakuza 0. He wouldn't. I don't know. I should flip those two. Gary could be playing Mario Kart. Chris could be playing Yakuza 0. Lindsay could be playing Mario Odyssey. And it just works. And we can just talk as we play and hang out and have fun. It makes the gaming world smaller. It brings you closer to your friends. And I love that. It is such a brilliant feature and such a wonderful addition by Nintendo. It's an absolutely masterful implementation. And I wish I had footage showing how it works, but I never bothered to capture it because I was having too much fun talking to my friends. I never even thought to press record on my video capture device. You just have to trust me on this one. It's awesome. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine too. You don't have to. This is, again, my opinion. Gaming's a tapestry. Now, onto the games. I picked up 4 physical titles, but I want to have back... Talking is difficult. Onto the games. I picked up 4 physical titles, but I want to talk about the 2 digitals that I picked up first. The first one is Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. Now, I happily spent the $10 on it because I was curious about the implementation and how this thing was functional. And yes, everyone who says this should have been built in on the system, 100% accurate. Can't argue that point whatsoever. It is something that desperately needed to be included on the system. To spend $10 on a tech demo, I mean, I've done that in the past. I did that for some of the demos for PSVR. It's something where I thought it was a really clever implementation, and your mileage will vary on this one. This isn't even a may vary. It will absolutely vary. Some people absolutely love this. Some people think it's just kind of meh. Some people think it's idiotic. I happen to enjoy it. I think it's a pretty clever way to introduce the features of the console. I like the different tech demos that are an aspect of it. And I think it just works, which is really nice. I do think it's probably a $5 title, if I'm being honest. I think $20 is a little high. But at the same time, I also think it's not a necessary thing. Like, this is something I would only suggest buying if you are, well, if you're trying to be a bit of a completionist to understand the console a little bit more. Not completionist from the aspect of owning every game. That's beyond what I'm talking about here. Just trying to understand the technological aspects of the title. I think it's kind of necessary in that regard. The other digital title I picked up was Fast Fusion. This is a sequel to a game that had originally released on the Switch, which I had never played. It's an arcade racer. It's a bit like F-Zero. There's a lot of really good racing, super high speed stuff, and I'm really impressed by it. I saw Jason from Metal Jesus Rocks post about this, and it was when I was like, oh yeah, I should check that out. I should try that game out. And it's a blast. It's an absolutely fantastic title. Super well implemented, super well designed. Just a brilliant start-to-finish racing game that is pure arcade speed and pure arcade action. On to the games. First one I want to talk about, we're going to just start with Mario Kart World, because, I mean, that's the one everyone wants to talk about. Everyone has picked up. It has, like, an 80% install rate in Japan. Like, I think Japan sold 900,000 copies, and there's 780,000 units of Mario Kart sold. And that's just physical. Now, that includes the bundle, but that's insane to me. That is such a ridiculous install rate. That's the kind of install rate that video game companies dream of. That keeps you afloat for decades. Like, that's what that does. Mario Kart World is really awesome. I am not going to say it's perfect. I think from a top-down perspective, if you look at it, there are some serious flaws with the design of it. I think the open world aspect of it is clever, but really poorly implemented. I think it's kind of boring. It feels really empty. Now, if this was an open world where your friends were driving around at the same time, now that's another story. That would be really awesome. But from just a perspective of hopping onto the main menu and entering free roam, I mean, there's some challenges, and you can find costumes and stuff like that in there, and I think that's pretty neat. But from a perspective of looking at it as an open world environment, it's an open, empty-ass world. It really is. I don't think Nintendo really let that cook long enough. I think that should have been something where they really took, if you've got a friends list of people that are playing and they're in free roam, toss them into your open world as well. Now, there's who's saying that doesn't come in a future patch, who's saying that isn't something that's added in, but right off the bat, out of the package, it's not really my thing. I don't really care about free roam. Now, the stage designs are incredible. The levels are great. The characters are awesome. I understand why they actually separate the costumes out from just the characters, so you can't just toggle between the costumes, because that way you can have multiple people playing those characters in races. So if someone picks Luigi, Luigi isn't locked down. You can have Luigi and Farmer Luigi and Gondolier Luigi and stuff like that all racing at the same time. You can have 24 cows going if you really want to. Who's to say you can't? And at the end of the day, I guess, it's like I just pointed out, like, you have 24 cows, so they could all be under the same thing. You just toggle between costumes. It's unlocking for the sake of unlocking is really what it comes down to. But some of the costumes are really good. Some of the vehicles are really nice. I like the character list. I love 24-player racing. That is absolutely fantastic online. Like, that is one of the best experiences I've ever had, is playing 24-player online racing with Mario Kart. It is utter chaos. It is insanity. It's super fun. Standard Grand Prix mode is great. You go three laps on the initial race, and then you actually kind of go into a quasi free roam mode where you drive from one course to the next one, and you do a one-lap shootout when you get there, which is pretty cool. And that proceeds through the 4 races on the Grand Prix mode. Knockout racing, though, is my personal favorite. Knockout mode, I think, is brilliant. This is quasi-outrun. You actually have to stay above a certain placing as you move through these different tracks in order to stay in the race. Like, it starts, I think, at 20, and then it goes to 16, then 8, then 4, then first place. And it's 6 races. It's 6-race open world racing. It's absolutely wonderful. It is just a blast to play. It's great online, too. Like, super, super fun online. I really, like, my biggest complaints are the things where I feel like they had a really good idea that they didn't implement the right way. and maybe that's me being nitpicky as someone that used to work in the industry and looks at game design as kind of an art. It feels like they phoned in some of it, and that's a shame. But it's also a nitpick. Like, this is not me saying it's a bad game. I think it's a spectacular title. Controls are great. The physics are amazing. I love all the improvements there, like wall riding and rail grinding. I didn't think that was going to work. It's great. It's a wonderful game. It really is. Like, my quibbles are quibbles. That's exactly what it is. But there are improvements I see that could be made. That's really what it comes down to. Next up, we are going to talk about the other fully physical game I have, and that is Cyberpunk 2077. Now, this is an older game. I think it's 5 years old at this point, and it was one that I was kind of on the fence about picking up because I don't really have the greatest kind of history with CD Projekt Red games. I didn't really dig the Witcher series until I played The Witcher 3 on the Switch. And I think it was more because I just didn't have the time investment available to me to be able to just continue to play it on my PC or my PlayStation or my Xbox. I liked being able to take it with me on the go. And I can see that being something that I really enjoy with Cyberpunk here. And I won't lie to you, it took me a little while to get into it. It's a bit of a slow burn at the start because, it's the one thing that CD Projekt Red does really well is your opening levels are great tutorials for how the game is going to go. But once I felt I had it figured out, I thought I should have been in game more quickly. And I came to find out I didn't have it all figured out. I wasn't even close to having it all figured out, not even kind of. So my impatience and my hubris that I knew everything that was going on already really kind of betrayed the fact that this game is brilliantly designed. And it's one that the further I got into it, and kind of like the seedy underbelly of the city that I'm working in, was one that I really enjoyed kind of pulling the layers back on and getting into. Now, I've only played a few hours of it so far. I'm not far into it at all. I haven't met, and I might not even be a few hours. I might be like an hour and a half into it. I haven't met Johnny Silverhand yet or anything like that, but it's a game that I can see myself spending a lot of time with. The writing has been spectacular. Like, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate the voice acting in the game. It is magnificent. Like, every line is delivered beautifully well. Like, whoever their director was for vocals was perfect. It is absolutely fantastic. I enjoy the gameplay. I think it runs incredibly well on the Nintendo Switch. I don't have 120 hertz TV, so I just run everything at 60 hertz. And I don't see any kind of degradation or any issues in that regard. I think it looks great. I'm really impressed with it. And it looks good in handheld too, which was something I was a little bit stressed about. I know a lot of people really wanted an OLED, and while I can understand the desire to have the OLED, it is not something where I feel it is necessary for this initial iteration. OLEDs of that size ain't cheap. The LCD or LED, I can't remember if it was an LED. Whatever the screen is the Switch 2 has. LED, LCD, you tell me. Whatever the screen it is, it has, works really well. The color depth on it is fantastic. It gets incredibly bright. I will tell you, if you drop your brightness down a little bit, your screen or your battery life will go through the roof. And compared to 100% brightness, it drinks battery at 100%, I will tell you that. And I think Cyberpunk is a really good way to see how good that screen looks, because it pops. It looks great. I'm really impressed with not only the fact that we got Cyberpunk on the Switch, but that Nintendo has really kind of put their name behind it and really shown their appreciation for the title. Like, they're flexing their system's muscles with this game. It would be something if it was just, like, if they had put all of their weight and all of their kind of belief behind Mario Kart, that would be classic Nintendo, right? But they're putting a lot of belief behind Cyberpunk and behind third-party implementation and third-party games, which I love to see, because that isn't the Nintendo of old. They were always kind of landlocked and kind of just, they shelled up, and they wouldn't let themselves be exposed to things that have lots of swearing, heavy violence, nudity that you see in Cyberpunk. It's something where that never would have happened 2 or 3 generations ago. Shit, it wouldn't have happened in the Wii U, certainly. And now we're at a point where I think Nintendo realizes that gaming is big. It's not just for kids anymore. So we're seeing their kind of move forward, and I really appreciate it. I think that's really cool. One of the things I want to talk about next is key card games. And this is something, because I don't hate key cards, for the record. I don't hate it at all. It is identical to what happens on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox One. This is exactly the same as tossing your disc in and getting a download. That's what it is. It's the same thing. It's just on a cartridge. Where my issue comes in with the key cards is not with the key cards themselves. It is with the fact that there is only 256 gigabytes of onboard memory for this system. I installed Street Fighter 6 and I installed Yakuza 0, and all of a sudden half of my available storage was gone on my hard drive. Luckily, I had a 256 gigabyte backup card that I could use and install stuff off of. I got the one that's for the Switch. I actually ended up buying a second one because that filled up really fast. Storage is going to be at a premium on this console, especially if there's a lot of key cards released. You are going to run out of storage very fast. And if memory card prices don't start dropping, if memory prices don't reduce significantly, that's going to be a very, very expensive medium to maintain. Which is a little upsetting, but for now, I think I'm okay. I mean, I've got 4 games physical, 2 of them are key cards. That could change depending on what comes next. We'll see. I mean, the jury's out on that, but it's something where I think that was a really weak decision by Nintendo. I think they probably should have gone with the terabyte. I understand that would have brought the cost of the console up significantly, but it's not enough. 256 isn't enough. 32 wasn't enough on the original Switch. 256 isn't enough on the Switch 2. It should be more. With that said, let's talk about those games real quick. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut is wonderful. It's a really awesome game. The writing in it is spectacular. Voice acting is great. It plays like a Yakuza game. Like I don't really need to get too in depth on this one. It's exactly what you want it to be. It's a perfect Sega title. It plays brilliantly well. It looks good. It sounds good. Great in handheld or on a television. It's kind of a perfect Switch game, and that's really all you need. Like it's something where I don't feel like the next game we talk about, Street Fighter, I don't feel that's great in handheld because trying to use those buttons on the Joy-Con, like biggest weakness I think is they didn't put a D-pad on the Joy-Con, on the left Joy-Con. I really wish they had done that. And just having the buttons, it's difficult, at least for me, to be able to do the motion inputs to perform the special moves in Street Fighter on that. I just wish it was a D-pad, and that's why. Now, as far as Street Fighter 6 goes, it's wonderful. Absolutely fantastic. I've got Street Fighter 6 on my Xbox Series X. I absolutely love it. It is a phenomenal game. It's one that Capcom gave me a code for, and I've loved every second of being able to play it. With Street Fighter 6 on the Switch, though, I wanted to make sure I picked up a physical copy of it because this came with the first 2 years of DLC included, which, that's great. I wanted to have Terry and Mai from King of Fighters as playable characters. I just think it's neat that they're there. And everything that I have played so far in this game is wonderful. World Tour mode is dumb. We'll just throw that out there right now. It's the same thing as the Creative Pro mode in like NHL or the WWE or the NBA games. It's fluff. That's all it is. It's marshmallow fluff, and no one cares at the end of the day. It doesn't tell a compelling story. It doesn't do anything really creatively ambitious. It's just walk around, fight random person, level up. Hey, great, buy some clothes. That's really all it is. The hub is neat because there's actually some retro games in the back, which is pretty cool. I didn't know about that. I actually saw that on RGT85's video. He talked about it. And I thought it was really cool. I got to play Final Fight and Ghosts and Goblins and a couple other ones as well, which was really cool. And it's neat with those games. There's actually challenges as well that you can participate in, which I think is really clever. But I mean, the bread and butter for me is arcade mode, story mode, versus mode, stuff like that. And it plays so incredibly well. Like the graphical impact of how good the fighters look and the environments look it can't be missed. It is beautiful. It plays so well. It looks so good. Like there is a slight step down from the Xbox Series X. Really, it's so minute and so hard to see that I can't help but suggest it on the Switch. It's wonderful. I mean, get it on the Xbox too. Or if you want to play on the Xbox or the PlayStation, get it there. But it's great on the Switch. Don't think it's not. I have had a blast playing it. It's so much fun. It's actually my most played game so far on the Switch too. I am not upset by that in the slightest. So, end of the day, after a week, am I satisfied with the Switch 2? Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely some things where I look at it and I go, that kind of sucked. Like the internal memory isn't great, but at the same time, there's stuff that they really surprised me with. Like the game chat feature, I think is fantastic. I love how good the games play, how fast load times are. And I haven't even talked about stuff like the GameCube online service. GameCube games being there are great, as are the improvements that we've seen for Switch 1 titles. And those are all things I'm going to talk about in future videos, so don't worry about that if you're curious about that stuff. Like, Switch Online is a great service. Those are fun. I'm really impressed. I'm really happy with it. I have no regrets for the almost $1,000 I spent in the last week on the console, controller, random accessories that I've picked up, the video games, the camera. Like, I don't regret it. Well, I mean, I do regret it. That was a lot of money, but I don't regret having it because they're fun. I'm just... And at the end of the day, that's what I'm about. I like to enjoy myself. I like to have fun. And it's been fun for my whole family. My wife has loved it. My kid has loved it. It's been great. I'm really impressed. I think Nintendo knocked it out of the park. And with some tweaks and some improvements going forward, I think they've got an all-timer. And I think they already do. Selling 3.5 million units in 4 days is absolutely mind-blowing to me. Let me know in the comments down below. Have you picked up a Switch 2? Do you like it? Do you enjoy it? Do you hate it? All opinions are valid. All opinions are real. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. If you dislike it, tell me why. I'd love to hear from you. If you have played it and you are enjoying it, let me know your favorite game you've played so far. I'm especially curious about ones I don't own. Like, I haven't played the Hitman game. I haven't played Suikoden 1 and 2 on the Switch 2. I'm sure it plays just like the other ones because, I mean, it's not hard to run that. Just let me know. I'd love to hear about it. Until next time, folks, I've been Jay. Appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me. Friend code is up on the social, so check that out there if you'd like to add me as a friend and we can play some Switch 2 together. Until next time, remember to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.